I always like to hear sort of the reason or the light bulb moment that went off in a founder's head. This is your fourth startup, right? You could have probably gone and done many different things. What did you see about Web3, about blockchain? What was it that made you say, oh, this is the idea I want to chase after? And maybe what were those founding beliefs or thoughts that you had?
All right, so lots of questions in there, but I'll kind of give you a deep dive into the thought process that brought me there. So I want building products that help people find their purpose or be more productive at work. I think those two combined generate human wealth. And basically, I kind of figured out early on in my career what I wanted to be focused on. I worked like almost 10 years in my previous startup called Landing Jobs, which is a tech recruitment marketplace, the biggest one in Portugal, one of the largest in Europe. And in essence, that was my HR technology pill. That's how I got into the space. I've done a few things before that, but that was my intro into the HR tech space. And after those 10 years, it was just like a lot, grinding all those years, including a move to London pre-Brexit and coming back to Lisbon post-Brexit. So a lot of stories in there. We could do a podcast just on that one. I took like a sabbatical, take some time off, just learn, stop being on focus mode, go into diffuse mode. And I think sabbaticals are great for that. So it wasn't just a time off. I had the learning plan, I had an accountability buddy, all that. I really planned that. Unfortunately, it wasn't a 12-month sabbatical as I wished. It was only a 3-month sabbatical. I learned a bunch of things that I wanted to learn for a long time, but you just don't have the mind space to go into things like psychology. I dive deeper into blockchain. I've been in the space mostly as like a user, a trader, if you wish, and not really a builder. But I was always curious, being in the HR tech space, there weren't many startups, many founders, using blockchain. It just didn't make sense for me. So I decided to go deeper on that tech. To my surprise, then I bumped into Web3. So this is early 2021. We're not in the peak bull market yet, but there's a lot of excitement in the space. So I started talking to a lot of people. And I think there was a moment, I forget we can say I'm a fan of the All In podcast. I'm a viewer. It's better than saying I'm a fan. I'm a viewer of their podcast. There was an episode when they were discussing, trends in Web3 in particular, how it was going to change society. And there was something they said about decentralizing that. And then one of them said decentralizing careers. And that kind of that was the light bulb moment you were asking me about. That's why I realized, I had always, throughout my career, I always thought there should be a way for people to be, more vested into each other's career. That is like a bullseye into the vision, the ethos of talent protocol, where talent in this world has always been revenue-driven, employer-driven, transactional-driven. I think we should move away from that into where talent should be really, which is ownership-driven. When you work for someone, you're working for yourself. You should have stake on whether it's talent, organizations, DAOs, doesn't really matter, but we should evolve into something that is better for talent. I think, in a nutshell, I think talent is the most underutilized asset in the world. By far, lots of talented people are, talent is truly decentralized. That's a reality. Mm-hmm. The thing is that opportunity isn't. And so talent protocol is essentially we try to change things, how things work in this place. It started like that. As you mentioned, things have evolved. We've launched a bunch of stuff. And, like all startups, I've seen previous episodes in your podcast where, the founders, things change and it happened to us as well. So it's been 2 years now. And the way we started is not where we are now. And I'm pretty sure it's not where we're going to be 2 years from now. So